Hey guys, it's your boy Salami back with another video talking about Corepunk. Today we're going to go over one of the classes that has been announced, which is the Paladin, the mighty Paladin. The mighty warriors and defenders, Paladins, have made it their mission to wipe out all evil. They always stay true to their values, and sacred light guides them and those who follow them. Paladins are experts at healing and raising the spirits of their allies, but when prayers are no help, they are not helpless. Paladins can knock out the enemies with a stroke of their heavy hammer or mace. So I'm a big fan of Paladins in any MMO or game, so I may be a bit biased here starting with them, but hey, I can't help it. So if you don't know how this works, there's 6 classes announced so far, and within those 6 classes there's 3 subclasses that you can pick from leveling up. And so we're going to go over the Paladin's subclasses here, and so we'll just start with the first one, which is Hand of Light. The Hand of the Light are melee heroes that use heavy two-handed weapons and the energy of light. Though their specialty is dealing damage, they can also buff their allies in a fight. So these guys here are kind of like your Retribution Paladins from WoW. So that's cool. Maybe a good way while you're leveling just to go Hand of Light. And so they have got their abilities on the website, but they do not have names from what I can tell, so we'll just go by them by their numbers on the keyboard. So their Q, the Hand of Light, hits with a powerful strike and deals physical damage, attack power, in the area in front of them. All enemy targets hit by the ability take increased damage vitality, so that's kind of cool. And then they have a rundown, so it's a 0.2 second cast time with a range of 4 meters, and it has damage and it's got a 12-second cooldown. Now that, to me, if it's got a range of 4 meters, it's kind of like a free hit kind of thing, which is kind of, you just like aim it at an enemy and they take so much damage. Their W, when an ability is activated, the Hand of Light releases a 5-meter long beam and a light in an area, with all enemies struck by the beam take magic damage. And movement speed reduction, the beam removes all slowing effects from allies who are touched by it, so it's a buff and debuff. That's pretty cool. If the Hand of Light hits a target with the beam of light, they can recast the ability and shield spirit themselves or allies. Okay, so you hit someone, then you can push W again and then get a shield, which is pretty neat. And that has an instant cast time and a range of 5 meters and a 10-second cooldown. So far, so good. The Hand of Light marks the enemy for 5 seconds. When expired, the mark deals true damage, and all the damage received while the target was marked. So they take like so they take what? When the mark deals true damage and 10% vitality, and 10% of all damage received while the target was marked. So for 5 seconds while you wail on them, you do a ton of damage. That's pretty cool. That's an instant cast, 6 meters range and 25-second cooldown. So you're not using that one all the time. And then there's the R. The Hand of Light raises their weapon and starts to charge the ability. It then smashes it onto the ground. The ability deals magic damage to the area. The Hand of Light can move while the ability is being charged. The damage that the ability does depends on the duration, so it's like a special over time. That's cool. Range 3 to 5 meters. It's a little AoE that you can charge, and it's got different cooldown times. That's pretty neat. And then they have the special ability. After using an ability, the next basic attack of the Hand of Light is empowered. An empowered attack deals bonus magic damage and casts periodic healing on the Hand of Light. The empowerment stacks up to 3 times. When the periodic healing stacks to 3 charges, the Hand of Light gains bonus movement speed for 5 seconds. When expired, the charges are reset. Okay, so they're like passive. They call it special ability, but it's basically their passive. Is free healing and then extra movement speed the longer the fight goes on, then it resets and does it again. You know what? The Hand of Light is a pretty cool leveling subclass for the Paladin. I'm really liking that. So that's the first one down, and like if I'm talking too fast, please tell me in the comments and I'll slow down and try and like take a little bit more time here, but this is just exciting, right? Okay, Cleric. Clerics are support heroes that can still deal a lot of damage in a melee fight. Clerics' weapons are dual maces and the energy of light, which the later they can use for healing and shielding allies. The effect of all abilities these heroes use while they are in a fight is increased. So clerics are clearly your, team based. I don't know whether you could melee them, but the fact you don't normally see clerics with dual maces, that's just fucking cool. I'm gonna say that right now. That's fucking cool. So what's their Q? The cleric attacks an enemy with their weapon and deals physical damage. After the strike, a small energy zone is created around the enemy, which the cleric's allies gain periodic healing. The ability can be recast if the cleric is in the energy zone. The energy zone explodes, dealing magic damage to enemies. The zone disappears after that. So that's kind of neat. So you hit someone and then you make a little AoE that heals allies and lets you recast it if you're standing in it, from what I can gather, and that's a 5-second cooldown. That's pretty neat. Right, their W. The cleric charges the weapon and releases a light wave in front of them, which deals magic damage and debuffs enemies, reducing their armor and magic resistance. The target was also rooted for 1.5 seconds, so you stun them, root them for 1.5 seconds and take away their armor and magic resistance. That's pretty neat. I'm kind of cool that. That's got a 10-second cooldown and a range of 4 meters. That's not too bad. Oh, what do we got here for their E? The cleric shields themselves or an ally. The shield absorbs all incoming damage. If the shield has more than one strength point upon expiration, it triggers a magic explosion in a range of 2.5 meters around the hero. All enemies in the range of explosion are stunned. Oh, that's cool. I don't know how often you're going to get that stun off. Maybe in a group of 5 and you accidentally put it on the wrong person, then yes. Might not be, if you're playing the cleric and you put that on the wrong hero, you might be in a bit of trouble. That has got a 5 meter range, instant cast, and a 15-second cooldown, so you're not casting that always. Alright, what's your R? For 3 seconds, the cleric surrounds themselves with an aura, which heals allies, increases the cleric's movement speed, and reduces incoming damage. While the aura is active, the cleric can basic attack, but is not able to use abilities. Okay, so it's like a little mini buff that lasts for 3 seconds. That doesn't feel like a very long time, which just reduces damage. I mean, it's good if, say, the boss is doing a mega combo, right? There's like, oh shit, I'm going to push this and let's hope we don't take too much damage. That's an instant cast, and it's got multiple cooldowns. I think that R's always have the different, I think you can, yeah. And what's the cleric's special ability or passive? When attacking, the cleric gets and stacks charges which empower their abilities by 2%. Stacks up to 5 times and are automatically reset when any of the abilities were used. Stack charges will be reset if the special ability is activated. Basic attacks will deal additional magic damage for 10 seconds. Okay, that's cool. So basically, when you're just doing melee, you're charging up so your abilities do more damage or healing. So you want attack to power up. No, that's cool. Cleric's pretty solid. I don't know if you'd play that while you're leveling up to level 40. Maybe that would be something you'd do once you hit and cap, or if you're playing in co-op with friends. And then we have the Crusader. Crusaders are tanks who wield a shield and use Morgenstern and the energy of light. Crusaders were made to withstand loads of incoming damage. At the right moment, they can drag enemies back to them, aiding allies in a fight. Okay, so here we got our tank. Let's see what the tank's got. So this is very much a WoW Paladin, isn't it? Crusade, like you've got Ret, you've got the healing one, Ret. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten the names. If you can remember the names, please tell me, because that's going to piss me off. The Crusader, the Crusader flings a chain at a target direction which deals physical damage, and the first time it hits It hits and drags enemy back to the Crusader. The ability taunts enemies who attack Crusader for 2 seconds. So you've got a taunt and a drag in one. That's pretty cool. It's Scorpions, get over here. I like that a lot. Our W is the Crusader starts with a charge. Starts to charge the ability. They can't use any other abilities. Launch basic attacks and move. The ability charges for 2 seconds, triggers an explosion which deals magic damage. Recast. An explosion will occur instantly. The damage dealt will depend on the amount of time the ability was charging. So you get a little AoE damage burst if you want it. What kind of time has that got? Charge time 2 seconds, cooldown 12 seconds. You're using that semi-regularly. And your E. The Crusader rises their shield and blocks the first attack or ability. If the damage has been blocked, the Crusader can recast the ability. The Crusader deals physical damage in a small area in front of them and it slows all affected enemies. That's pretty neat on a boss. I'm assuming bosses will be able to power through some of this, like with tank breakers. I'll be curious to see. Cast time instant, cooldown 18 seconds. So you really got to know the towers to use that. That's not a I'm going to push this and use it. Okay, and the R for the Crusader. The Crusader creates a field on the ground. All enemies trapped in this field can't use teleporting and dashing abilities. All allies within the field take reduced damage. When enemies cross the border of the field, they will be disarmed and will take magic damage. When the Crusader or their allies cross the border of the field, they gain bonus movement speed. That's kind of funky. Cast time 1 second, range 3 meters. It's really interesting. I don't know how I feel about that art. It's cool, but I don't know. And then their passive or special ability. Each attack of the Crusader marks an enemy. The marked enemy gets stacked up to 10 times. Upon reaching maximum stack, it stuns them for 2 seconds. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, you know, you're getting 3 stun every 10 attacks for 2 seconds. Like, that's not a short stun. Like, that's a real stun. So yeah, why not? Okay, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I think of all of them, and then we'll leave the video there. Alright, so here it is on paper. These are like my final thoughts. So let's have a look. So the Hand of Light to me is an easy to build fighter or DPS. They have like 3 good DPS, AoE spells, abilities I should say. They have a lot of self-sustain, like they can go for ages. They have some great increased damage with their Q. Not a lot of CC or gap closes. So compared to Crusader, of course, so I think a really good solo character, like a lot of fun in solo. You may have trouble ganking others though if you're thinking of being a ganker with this class, as they're not going to have the movement. The fact that he gets value from attack power, spell damage, vitality, and spirit means it's way easier to build him, since you're getting you can pick a lot of different ability points to pick from, and then you go from there. The Cleric looks pretty solid. Like, I can't see anything wrong with the Cleric as an AoE healer, stuns or healing, like, can't complain. There's not really else to say about the Cleric. It's pretty straight. I just like the fact he holds 2 fucking maces. They're so cool. Like, I can't complain about that. And then the Crusader is the tank with the most coolest ability, the get over here chain from Scorpion. You're just wandering along, and then all of a sudden, boom, you just get sucked over to him and destroyed. I really, really like that. And then you just you hit someone 10 times and then they get stuck for 2 seconds. I mean, in PvP, I think the Crusader is going to be freaking awful. Absolutely disastrous in PvP. Like, if you get caught by him, you're in trouble. So that's my final thoughts on the 3 Paladin subclasses. All awesome, really cool, and they're all very different from each other. There's no real copy over from one to the other. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.